see Penny or Sue.
Really?
It is.
The board blast me.
Is it because your TV's not on?
Oh, I haven't even turned TV on. I'm sorry.
See Penny or Sue.
These afternoon meetings are rough.
There you go.
Yeah, all right, we all set.
Okay, I can see John now.
Oh, okay. Geez, I forgot to comb my hair again.
Well, basically the same budget as last year. We're hoping to get the Minerva catalog program started by July 1st. Working on it.
So is that a one-time cost?
Nope,
So that's why there's no actuals, but we didn't have it up. That's why there's no actuals in 22, 23.
yes,
Okay,
correct.
okay. But I guess Penny, do you think you might spend that 2,000 in this year, the first 2,000?
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get started by July 1st.
Okay,
It may only be 1,000. They're still kind of trying to work us out as
Yeah.
a smaller library,
yeah.
which would be great.
So it's a yearly fee.
Mhm.
Is that to borrow books through it?
Yes, that's for the van to come to the library once a week and drop off and pick up.
Oh,
And it allows people to be at home and order the books for
Oh.
themselves, which nice. So whether we have to have 1 or 2 deliveries a week is the issue. We only need 1. But most of them, they want to have 2.
Well, I'm good with it. You sure you have enough on the books and supplies? You cut that.
How about enough on the penny?
Yeah,
Oh, no, I'm looking at the year and a half. Never mind. I'm looking at the year and a half budget.
Don't you think she needs a raise?
We've tried that several times and she won't take one.
Penny's never gonna take it herself. You just have to give it to her.
why was it higher in the 21-22 than?
we had an 18-month
Yep.
budget.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I just made the same mistake, so.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
It was a confusing time.
Yeah, I think I would be willing to discuss that. I think that's,
Yeah, me
But-
too.
but Penny just refuses.
Well, you can make her.
I don't know, can you?
Well, whatever you pay me, I spend back into the library out of pocket. So pay me whatever you want.
So if we made it. Made it $1,000. That would be. 353.
Well, it would increase the FICA a little bit too.
Yeah, that's right.
A couple
Yes.
of bucks, but
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Everybody else agrees.
I'm fine with that.
I'll make a motion. We approve the budget request, except changing the director's stipend to 1,000, and Terry will have to calculate the FICA change.
Good.
I'll second that.
They just rated it at $77.
Not 77 more, goes to 77, right?
No, it goes to 77, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I can give you a total $5,020.
Good. Moved,
Penny.
seconded, discussed.
Did we, okay, Penny, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
But I'll ask it, Jeff, after we deal with the motion.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Right.
John,
Hi, John.
Jeff, I. And your question?
Well, Penny, do you recall, when we purchased the, I'm trying to find out how much we have left of that 20,000. Terry gave us a number that we have 13,695 left, but we haven't committed. That doesn't include Jerry, Hodula's fixing of the boiler. Do you recall if we funded all of that out of the 20,000? Because none of the four of us seem to recall that. We can look it up, but I thought maybe you recall.
That you most recently approved the.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe it was all in there.
I thought that was my recollection too, but I
I'd
wasn't
have to look at
positive.
my notes, but I think so.
What about the generator? Did we,
That was ARP.
all of it? Okay,
I believe so.
all right.
That's that's actually what I was thinking about the generator, sorry.
But if we only spent, well, what else have we spent it on this year?
This year we spent it on Eastern Fire, 52.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the bulk of it, I think, was Easton Fire. And
Okay.
then, but I thought the generator was all AARP, but maybe Terry could double check that before we get to the building ground budget.
I'm quite certain it was.
Yeah, and I believe that. I'm thinking in my mind that we split the chairlift or the.
Yeah.
Lift assist thing, we split that.
Okay,
And now, for some reason I was thinking it was the generator too, but
So
okay.
the sprinkler heads isn't on here. Right? Should be under.
Well, yeah,
fiscal
that would be
23.
under building and grounds, right?
Oh,
No, the sprinkler heads, we took it out of the library relocation and I just took it
Okay,
out of.
okay, we did. I don't recall.
so the 13,695 includes that.
Includes the
Okay.
$5,200.
Okay, good.
But when it comes time, I think whatever balance is left of that 20, we should carry forward.
I agree.
well, Jerry was there yesterday. Today was so crazy, I hadn't had a chance to go see if the pump was replaced, but he has a ladder up. So he's working.
Yeah, well, we don't need to make that decision. I mean, that's something we can make in June. But
Right.
okay, I'm good
All
with that.
right. Cemetery,
Give me a number.
page 37.
Thank you.
So it's the same minus the work done on Avenue 8. The new avenue.
So is the repairs all for the stones?
No, we did the road work on the old avenues.
No, I'm talking about in your proposal.
Yes,
So I think we should do a couple more of those avenues, don't you?
yep. I went through there, tried to go through there yesterday. On the one next to the last one we did, and I was bottoming out my car.
Yeah, and I don't think that's right, that people have to drive in there and can't get down those roads, and it's not very expensive. I can't
Right.
remember, I
don't
can't,
know whether Doing just that one would be enough. The other ones are not used so much. But
Well,
at least.
I think we should do at least that one that's pretty heavily used, that's pretty well rutted.
Right,
And I
Yeah.
don't have I mean, Jimmy could give us a number. It wasn't a lot, and you did a good job.
well, I mean, do we put it at 2,500 again and, or do you think it's less than half of that?
Looks like
Where's
we
the
spent
2,500?
We
I
spent
thought it
30.
was, wasn't it 3,200?
Yeah, that's what's in our
And we did
document.
three.
We did 3. But you're not gonna get 1 done for the same, I mean, he's gotta get his equipment down there,
Right.
and you know, so.
I don't know, 1,250.
I mean, I think he'll do it for whatever we put in there. If we put in $800, he'd probably do it, but I also don't wanna,
Yeah,
Well, but this one's gonna need a lot scraped out.
yeah. Okay. I would personally just say 1,500 to make sure we have enough, and then if we don't, it'll just go to surplus, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Where are you putting this? Under Grade Cemetery Road?
under,
Yes,
doing 1,500.
right. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
or if it's less, you can probably always use it on your stones too.
absolutely. Or, you know, there's always need for gravel and fill and stuff.
And Terry, this is the mowings adjusted.
Yes,
You remember what the total mowing contract was?
14,000.
Yep.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the budget with the addition of the 1,500 under grade cemetery roads.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? I mean, we've got flags.
Can we vote?
Yeah, I'm just looking to make sure that we've got everything covered.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Good with that. All those in favor?
I have a question. I'm a little confused. Terry, on page 38, is the 7,500?
That was the main lobsterman.
That was,
I know, but why is that in the,
This is unclassified.
okay, that's right. This is,
This is
it's the,
Rogers
yeah.
River Shellfish.
yeah, is that the, oh, is it, yeah, I'm with you. Is that their dues gonna be, their dues aren't going up?
Who, Georges River?
Yeah, I'm not asking you, Penny.
Okay,
no, Grade River staying the same.
Okay,
Okay, any other discussion on everything that's in there? All those in favor? John?
although I did just have a quick question. Sorry. Terry, do you, Penny, do you have money for, your crushed stone that you need?
I think we're in good shape
Okay,
with that right now.
yeah, okay. John, I.
All right, Jeff, I. And
I'd keep the road commissioner out of it.
So what's the total?
23,468.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have anything else for you, Penny? Does
I don't think so. I got a big tree down, but it didn't hit any stones, thank goodness, on the old pipe. And I got some volunteer chainsaws and we'll get in there as soon as
I know.
galloping's over.
so it's not so much.
It's a miracle.
that it
it
didn't
will
hit
take
anything,
out-
yeah.
Some of those Civil War and so. We lucked out since I and Benners did all the clearing, it seems to stop the hanging out in that corner of the cemetery.
Good.
So that is good.
Just a comment on that, particularly if they're using chainsaws, if they're not already on our volunteer insurance list, let's make sure we get them on.
I think they are.
Okay,
Will, Arthur, I think are both on.
Okay, okay.
I think Will is.
Isn't? We'll have to put Will on.
Okay,
Is the library volunteer list, I mean, transferable to cemetery?
Yeah, it's just, you gotta be on just anywhere in the town. Right, Terry?
Yep,
Right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I don't know how I got that whistle in my head, but, and then we went to three.
yeah, we went to 3:30.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so we want to jump down to debt service.
I always like that one.
So we sent you delicata
Oh,
and more beef filing. That's what your mom went home.
oh, good,
Is that yourself tonight, so?
maybe.
The delicata potato is so good.
She does a nice job with those soups.
And,
So page 35, John.
Yeah, I got it. I'm ready to roll.
All right.
So no interest on tan at all, huh, Terry?
No, it's great. We're gonna be able to make our, today, oh, could one of you sign the check before we leave? We're making the school payment for February. Oh, you already did. So we're doing the February school payment today, and we got money to do the March, and then people will be paying, so we'll be good. It's really nice not to borrow that money.
Yeah.
And this is the last ambulance payment, right?
Correct.
And part of that goes to fire reserve and part goes to the reval reserve.
Yes.
Could you do me a favor? Could you type in, when it says interest loan, principal loan, can we type in, that's the building, I'm assuming. Could you just type in building reno or something, so. On both of them?
And then the streetlight loan.
Yeah.
Is that the last?
No,
No, we got
um,
one more.
it was a 5-year loan, and our first payment was October 2020.
So,
Yeah, so this should be our last one, right? 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. No, next year will be our last.
yeah, I think it's one more.
One more after this, okay.
I would, I'd like to table this and until after we have a discussion about the roads budget.
Oh. Okay,
Because I think I mentioned to you, maybe I didn't, but if depending on what where our discussion ends up there, we might want to borrow from ourselves for 1 year or something to soften the tax impact.
okay,
So I'll make that a motion to table this.
okay.
Okay, I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye, John?
Hi, Jeff. Streetlights,
Ah, another beauty.
yeah.
My packet's getting thinner already. What page?
Next thing today will go really fast.
Just prior to roads.
24.
24.
So.
Actually, this 875 is gonna be paid in March, so that, and it's for 3 years, so that will be 0.
Okay.
Because it's paid out of this
Because we're gonna
year's
pay it
budget.
in this
Okay.
March, yeah.
So why'd it go up? What,
I put more in maintenance and repairs. It's a crazy amount for Edstrom
oh,
to come out and fix anything. And we're still dealing with stuff like by your house, Friday night, that light was on.
I know. I said, oh, it's fixed.
Yeah, and.
And then last night I noticed it was
not
out.
on.
Yeah,
They repaired the light down by Keely Baum's house, which wasn't like it was supposed to repair. So we're on your next round to fix the light, but I emailed Gabe and I'm like, Monday morning, I was like, the light was on Friday night. He said, really?
yeah, something is weird about it.
Yeah.
Something's. I think it has something to do, there was one of the accidents, he ended up clipping that pole. And
Oh.
I think, and ever since then, it has not, it's been intermittent.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Okay, so 875 less.
So Terry explained to me, and I should know this, but I don't. Fuels, utilities, phone under streetlights.
That's our payment. I'm guessing, I don't know. They're so random. They don't make any sense.
Payment to,
Our CMP payment,
okay. So that's for the electricity itself.
yes. Want me to put electricity there? Would that make it better?
I think it would be helpful.
Yeah, or CMP.
Yeah, sure, CMP, whatever. Because when I saw the phone, I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, this is, they're there forever.
Yeah, I know. Probably I did it.
Probably.
So that makes the total 4,300.
Correct.
Okay.
I kind of agree with Terry. I'll make a motion. We approve the 4,300.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
John,
Aye, John.
Jeff, I. Okay, we have ambulance and fire representative.
We'll do ambulance first and then.
Yeah.
Fire guys will come in.
Right.
We got a page.
Right after fire.
Page 19.
19. Thank you.
You all.
Okay, you're on. Hi.
So if you actually look down it, the only increases we have is wages, of course, that's the biggest impact. But also would be our fuel line. Just because of the increase of fuel and our medical supply line has gone up, and pharmacy has stayed the same. So just the medical, those are the three. But do you want to go down from line to line? Is that what how you want to do it? Or
Well, let's see.
those are the big
Yeah, let's start.
increases?
Yeah, let's go with 01, which is salary and stipends, and that went up. What, the 8?
Yeah, our
8.7.
8.7%. So
And did you make any change? No, you didn't.
Nope.
So it's
all the same.
The categories stayed the same.
Yep.
Okay, so let's jump to 02 wages. So that's,
Increased by a lot.
yeah,
So I am gonna hand out this to you, and sorry, John, I forgot you weren't here, and I will send you the email on it. We have done, and there's a fire one in there too. Actually, I can send it. Do you have access to your email right now, John?
No, because I'm on this Zoom meeting.
Okay. I'll send you an email, but what I've done, and because all the chiefs and people around wanted this also for their budgets. It is a pay for the surrounding towns for EMS. So it's Knox, Lincoln, and Waldo, so everybody around us. On what their starting pay is, if they're a per diem service, I've got mostly how many calls per year. And it's not totally up to date, but it's everything that I've gotten so far. Rockland's supposed to be sending me theirs. They're a full-time service and what they're getting paid, but kind of taking these numbers from what everybody else around us are paying. And to keep people here and to get people, we're kind of going to have to be competitive to that. And that's the increase on wages. We did not increase the nighttime pay at this point because we increased that last year. And what we really would like to do is get the hourly pay increased for our nighttime hourly people and our per diems during the day. So that is the big increase with the wages.
Did you happen to do the calculation on what the percentage increase?
I can. And for,
I can do that.
oh, it's an 18.26 increase total.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's the budget line, Ryan, sorry.
Oh. And besides the entering arguments, the per hour, any changes in frequency or number of people or anything like that stayed the same from previous years?
Right, correct.
So coverage stayed.
Coverage stayed the same. It's just the increase of pay. So 2 during the day, 2 at night. What we're trying to do is get it so that we can actually, right now, most of the time, other than when David's on, we're at the EMT level with a driver. Like
All the time.
all the time,
Yeah.
because people are gonna go get paid $23 an hour and not 17.
Right.
Or 19, we're paying 26 everywhere else, paramedic 25 or 26. So it's hard to say, hey, I'm gonna go work in South Thomaston for 19. And not in St. George, Thomaston, or around for 25.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it's not, you know, we do have St. George coming over, but they're over more often than not now. We used to have advanced on duty a lot, and a lot of them have gone to other services for the increase of pay because of the increase of living. You know, $6 more an hour or even $5 more an hour for 12 hours
Yeah.
is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
So, but now if you look, most areas are now paying $20 or $22 for even EMTs.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're gonna start losing our EMTs if we don't at least be competitive with that.
So the EMT is what is listed on this as basic.
Yep,
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
21.
And I had, I think at one point talked to Terry about even doing, we've done a schedule in other departments that, you know, they come in at $19 for new EMTs and then a 2% increase depending on how long they stay. And I can send that out, you know, if they're here for a year, you know, it's kind of like an increase. You start low and then if you stay, you get a little increase every year. So I did have that table and I will send it out to you guys before budget committee and just say, not introducing it this year, but maybe in the future. That way we keep people, you know, kind of like a merit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, the range is between 19, I think down in St. George, we did 19 to 22 with EMTs. And then, you know, we start at 19. If they stay a year, they get a little bit more.
So
kind of.
most of the training that they're getting are they paying for that, or is most of that you're granting?
My grant.
You're granting it.
So it used to be that we paid for it as, you know, into our, you know, and right now we're more paying for instructors and all that stuff. But I just got a $240,000 grant for all the classes. And that's kind of why I resigned in Thomaston and doing that stuff. I'm doing a lot of teaching and I'm doing a lot of clinical stuff with the students so that we can get more in this area. We have 15 new EMTs. And as you know, 2 of them are in this area and coming here. One because one lives and one's close and works on the fire department. But we want to keep them here. You know, we don't want them to get the experience as EMT and be like, hey, I can go over there and make a little bit more money. And we can't sign that agreement anymore because they're getting a free class. So we've got to have some incentive other than we're really nice. You know, like, and it's a good place to work.
Yep.
That only goes so far when you got to pay the bills. So
And that's what's happening a lot is, you know, that this is a stepping stone until they get that. And then as soon as
experience.
they get that license, yeah, we're going for the higher pay,
Yeah.
and that's killing us.
Or even if they go to the advanced, you know, that couple dollars as a basic, but when you get $5 or even with a medic, you know, I have a medic in St. George that used to work here a lot, Katie
Yeah.
Jacobs, and she'd love to come back, but for $6 less an hour,
Right. Right.
It's hard to say, yeah, I'll be there,
Mhm.
you know, but if we got close to it, I think it said what, 25, you know, I could get some of those medics back, which would be nice to have them here and not have to pay St. George, even the small amount of money that we're paying. So that's the increase of that wages, and I know it's a big increase,
Yeah.
but
22% was.
Yeah.
what I calculated now.
I think that's what I just did too.
So I have a couple of questions. If we could just jump back to the stipends again. One of the stipends is not just the 8.7. Was it 8.7 or 8.9?
Yeah, it's the captain slot, I think.
8.75.
It was supposed to be 8.75.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
8.75.
Yep. So they're gonna be-
Yeah, but but obviously that one isn't. I mean, that's 100,
Captain
that's
slot is
almost
fine.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just curious what the rationale for that is. I mean, that's nearly doubled, obviously.
We just put that one in there and we took that 500 from somewhere else at some point because we wanted to have that slot to be able to help with the supplies and someone that's gonna be here a lot and runs our shifts here a lot. And comes in on days off because they're in the area. So I had put it up some so that they get paid for those times that they come in and do the medications and stuff like that.
So is this that when we reorganized last year, we went from 3 offices to 4, right? Is this the one that was added or was the assistant director added?
So the captain that was the one we didn't have the money for, and that was the one added. We split
Okay.
my other 5,000 to make the other 2 slots, so. Increase of
So
pay.
wait a minute, I'm lost. We split the other 2,000 to make what?
The assistant and increase the deputy. So my
Okay.
stipend used to be.
But we did budget last year 530 for the captain. But we haven't spent any.
We haven't,
We haven't paid that out yet, no.
Right.
That usually gets
So-
paid out before the end of the, yes.
Oh. Okay, so you anticipate that will be paid out.
It is, yep, that is, Ryan is our captain.
Okay, so early on in the year, we didn't have someone in that position because it hasn't been paid. Is that that's why it's 0 on the actuals?
yes,
Correct.
Okay, so you're proposing to double that stipend or almost double it.
Correct.
And, okay, so I was just wondering what we had asked if anybody's doing anything above the 8.7%, if you could kind of just give us a rationale. And so I guess I'm asking for a rationale.
Because that person has more on their plate. Because they are working shifts here, they're coming in on their days off, they're helping with supplies and they're helping with medications and they're helping with that spot now. So
Okay, so so obviously you're the director and David's the assistant. Who's the deputy? Who's the assistant?
Carrie Adams,
And the captain is,
Ryan Colson.
oh, okay. Okay, and also, yeah, I thought it was, is it 8.75, the increase, Terry?
Yeah,
yes.
it says right here.
I don't think, I'm not coming up with 8, I'm coming up with 8.7 on the 2. Maybe I'm doing my math wrong. And I know it's just a few bucks, but I just want everyone, I don't want anyone complaining that they got shortchanged or something. I just want to keep it consistent.
I think I
I
did
don't-
8.
Huh?
I think I just did 8 too, so I.
And then yours is 9 something.
Mine
So,
is-
yeah, I think so, unless I did my math wrong. I just think I think with
Whatever.
those COLAs, we need to be consistent. And you guys may think that's nitpicky, but I don't. So,
It could have been that I just rounded. I just was.
well, I think it's more than that.
It looks like you did.
I just think it should be 8.75. What everybody else is getting in town,
So it's times point.
11,516.
and I don't have a problem with the adjustment on Ryan. I'm not talking about that.
Point 08, so 9 minute. Did I not do that right?
875.
875.
I don't know. It is.
Times 3.75%.
It's monthly.
Isn't that it?
Yeah, that'd be it, right?
So 926.62.
Add it on to,
I get 11,517 for Amy. 4,031 for the both directors, and I left Brian at 1,000.
What did you get for me?
11,517.
That's what I got too.
All right,
So that
fine.
leaves it, so it makes a total of 20,579.
Okay.
Well, the other two were 40-31.
4:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's really.
So I was like, I must have hit the wrong button because it was like $30 off or something. Damn, I thought I was worth $30 more. John.
Well, all you gotta do is give us a rationale.
Nah.
No, I just think
Give
it's,
away
I just think,
5,000.
I
What the
just think
heck?
we need, I think we just need to be consistent on these COLAs. I really do.
Yeah.
Because it affects everybody in town, not just the ambulance, so.
So does
um,
that mean we can go back to my 2021 15,000? Take it from there?
Let's think about that.
So the other question I have is on the wages, and this is kind of a Walter question. It feels like, and I'm not sure this is true, but it feels like that we're dealing with the same pool of people here, or in large part, the same pool of people.
Where?
And, you know, one town increases, so then the other town increases, and then another town increases, so the other town increases. And where does it stop is my question, and I'm not looking for an answer. I just feel, it just feels like
We need to just.
that, you know, it's an endless cycle of,
Go ahead.
No, I'll let you talk first.
So I totally agree with you, John, but we have to catch up.
so that, we are behind them.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't have
Last
that,
year.
and I don't have that sheet, so I can't tell that, but can you
So-
give me, it could just pick off what's Thomaston, for example, on a paramedic, just
All
for
right,
check.
so I'll give you what's our area. Okay, how's that? So-
Well, just give me a few, because I can't comprehend them all when you're reading them, but just, and don't cherry pick the highway, but,
I won't. Warren is, a driver is $20,
okay,
24. AEMT is 26 and medic is 28.
okay, that's helpful.
Thomas, yeah, Thomaston's, we just got approved at the other night. Is driver is 18. EMTs are 22. Advanced are 24 and medics are 26.
So we're close to Thomas. If the proposal goes through.
Correct. So what I did is I took our areas and kind of put us in the middle.
Yeah, okay. All right,
George,
that helps me, and I would be very interested in seeing that sheet.
yeah, I was this to you.
Yeah.
What on here?
No.
And
Okay.
I will add Thomaston and send it back out to you guys because we had to get approval first. So this was prior to my approval of that.
Was that because you did it in the middle of the year or?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So we had to have a meeting because they used ARPA funds to up our pay because we were just losing people all over the place to go everywhere else. So they used 60 in ARPA funds to up our pay until July 1st.
Yeah, and I don't think we're ever gonna be able to compete with Rockland. I mean, as David knows, for full-time people over there, they get, you know, they're participating in local district and main state retirement and health insurance. I mean, that's a different kettle of fish.
Correct. So they get paid actually less hourly than we do.
Yeah, but when you factor in their
But-
main state
correct.
retirement contribution and,
Agreed.
and then,
We-
I guess,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
why, did you have something else to offer?
He did
Yeah.
Oh,
So
sorry.
you said you put us in the middle.
ish.
I don't see a single one where currently well, I don't know, maybe the new one puts us in the middle, but
We're about the
Every-
same.
yeah.
We're about the same as everybody else with that.
okay.
Like in the middle of all of them, like
Right.
we are gonna be right with every one of them, not as in the middle.
Okay, because right now, looking at what we had, we're lower than everybody on everything.
On everything, yeah.
Right? I don't see a single one where we're leading the pack.
No,
Okay.
And you gotta remember, those are all this year's, everyone's gonna be doing their budget. Those are gonna be going up in other towns.
Yeah.
Probably.
some of them, yeah,
Some
most of
towns.
them sent me what's gonna be in their new
All
budget.
projected.
Good.
Yep, predicted budget. And I did that for fire too, on the fire end.
John, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. It's hard for me on Zoom. I don't mean to interrupt, but I can't sometimes know that someone's talking. So my question is on the night staff. I don't see those wages. Are they baked inside
Yes,
and what is that? What's that rate? Does that vary by,
They're online, 7-Eleven.
yeah, it's on page 20.
it's on page 20?
Yep, so night shift is shift pay, driver, EMT, advanced and medic.
Okay, so that's not an hourly rate.
Nope, those are shift pays, and then if they get called out, they get hourly for call out. So what we did is a percentage, so when this goes out, like I do a whole sheet for you guys that say, this is how we got to this number. And we take 30% of night calls and then average that we have 2 people on those calls, it's about 2 hours, and then we add it into the pay. But
Okay, and you said those were the same as last year?
yeah, we didn't up that, but the hourly is upped.
Right, but so
Slightly.
they're not getting the COLA then, as you're proposing not to provide the COLA there, the 8.7.
I didn't because it's shift pay and then they get the COLA for hourly.
Okay,
I mean, I can do it if you would like.
no, I'm okay with that. I just want to understand it.
Across the board.
Well, the only reason we did that is because we upped it last year by a lot for this shift pay. We almost, I think it was 35 and then 35 for everybody. And last year we adjusted it depending on the level. So I kind of left the shift pay alone this year because we're doing such a up on the hourly. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
I was trying not to get it all.
Yeah, I've always, another subject for another day, but I've always had concerns about whether shift pay was legal under the Fair Labor Standards Act, but let's not talk about that today.
It is.
I know there's been several arguments about that, several court cases, but anyways.
We can do hourly.
Yeah, and that's my fear, that someone will come in and say you have to and go back 10 years. Anyways, so that's all the questions I had on wages and salaries.
So to you, Jeff, is what you meant, you meant in between what they're paying now and what they're gonna be, is that what you meant?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, I meant in between of this, like
Right.
kind of like an average of what's here.
Yeah, what I misinterpreted, you said you put us in the middle, and I went, wait a minute, we're the lowest on all of them.
Because that's our.
But that's the old one.
Yeah.
So the new one,
The
it
new
puts us
one.
in the middle.
Puts us in the middle. Yeah,
Good, I buy that.
okay, thanks.
Okay,
So 03 is FICA, so that's just Terry's averages that.
So that'll have to be changed slightly,
I can
not
say,
much, but
wanna know?
By $2 for these guys, because they get paid more, and $22 less for me, thanks Terry.
It changed because $19,703.
Holy cow. Jeez.
thanks.
Thank you, Terry. All right, the next is contract services. So billing, we've kind of kept the same. Because we're averaging about the same runs. It's on a 300, call average. They're not increasing our percentage because we're keeping all of the services with the same company that I am involved with.
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
If we're gonna increase our rates, even if the percentage stays the same, I would anticipate that number would go up.
But. Story.
I mean, we approved a pretty substantial rate increase last night. And if the percentage is the same and we do the same number of runs, I would think that number would go up, but I may be missing a piece of the puzzle.
No, you're probably right. Okay. I will check with Comstar and have him kind of work the numbers on what we just proposed. And I'll update that.
Okay.
Cause we may have to update that, cause it looks like we've already paid out $4,000.
Well, that was the other thing that kind of,
I just saw that.
yeah,
But that means we're bringing in money. I guess that's a
that,
good thing.
well, that's gonna be my last question. How much
Great.
more revenue?
All right, so I'll look at that. I don't think anything else is increased.
Assistance charges,
That's
that
this.
went up.
Oh, that is,
That's what we
The
St.
medic,
George. That's for the medic.
medics, right?
Yep. And hopefully we won't use all that if we increase our wages, and we'll keep that lower so that we can get advanced and more medics in this area. All right, maintaining on Zoll repairs,
Computer.
fax.
Oh, fax, computer fax.
Yeah, the computer and the fax in that office and that we have to scan and stuff with, that's that line item. When to work is the same. Oxygen cylinders is our increase because of the cost. And then I went down on the instructor, because hopefully we'll have a couple in-house that will deal with that, and we'll only train another person. So,
Okay. Fuel and phone, that looks.
correct.
Yeah, fuel, just straight gas.
Yep.
And
with
use
the-
fees and travel went down.
Transfer.
Can we
Sure,
jump back to, can we jump back to contract services for 1 second?
Sure.
Is the assistant charges exclusively for medics?
It's exclusively for Rockland or ALS charges from St. George, yes.
So is that exclusively medics?
Medics are mutual aid from
Oh,
Rockland
okay.
charges mutual
Okay.
aid.
I was just thinking for the budget committee, it might be easier if we put in medics assistants or assistant for medics or something, because, but in the headline, because people on the budget committee might see that as more important than, oh, assistants. But
So-
if it's not just for medics, then I don't want it.
Yeah, so what I'll do, John, which I usually do, is do a paper and get it to Terry ahead of time that explains the increases and this paper that we have here, plus like those little items of
Yeah.
what it is. And usually I put medic or mutual aid from Rockland.
Yeah,
is what I
I'm
do.
just trying to always think of things to make it go easier at the budget committee, so,
Yeah, let's do
okay.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
insurance.
That's all Terry. So 07 is all Terry. She figures those numbers for me. So they're all definitely right. Good save. How's that, Terry?
And supplies, it looks like.
Supplies have gone up because of new equipment we need on the truck and all that lovely increase of what everything costs.
You know,
So. Pharmacy, I've kept the same. It's about the same. We don't have any new drugs until 2024 when the new protocol comes out.
So we'll be at like 1,900 the holes this year or somewhere around there maybe.
I think we got a bunch of them, so
Oh,
there's
okay.
like 3 months before we actually.
Yeah.
Replace a bunch of more, so it's kind of like we do a big bulk for 2 to 3 months and then, yeah. So. I think we'll be about 1,500, I don't think we'll be any more than that. Especially when we're EpiPens, we're not buying any more than $800 a piece,
Hmm.
so.
Really, that expensive?
Uh-huh. So now we're-
Insurance didn't pay that much.
where it's, for us, we pay between $450 and $800, depending on what we get it for pharmacy. And now we're doing draw up and inject, which is $7.
Okay,
Remember, that's the regular.
what'd you get for the total?
22816, but I didn't change the billing. I left it as 6,500.
She's gonna get back.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Comstar because I've got this to send into them today, this contract, rate change. So I'm gonna ask them what they're thinking about. How much increase it would for probably coming in with the number of calls we do.
Okay.
So I'll ask Pat that.
And to preempt John, income, if we,
I was looking that up. They brought in 69,408. As of. Did I?
probably another 40,000.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. And they've also brought in, 6,250.
For ALS.
ALS, call it ALS.
Yep. The islands.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, a lot of our ALS from St. George gets offset by the islands.
Yeah.
Because we charge them for,
Yeah, but I'm just comparing 75, 62.
Yeah.
And that's probably that'll go up.
and I'll bill
Yeah.
them for another 6 months. From January to June. So it's usually a couple grand, if not $3,000 every time we bill, so.
So we anticipate this year bringing, what do we budget? For,
We budgeted,
Can't remember.
$100,000.
okay. And our new rates will cause that to go up,
Whatever percentage you told me.
right? For a moment.
Yeah, it's just-
Yeah, right. So another 20%.
Yep. So almost the amount that we're gonna be paying our people.
Well, that's what in my mind, that's exactly what I'm
that's
trying to figure out, as to whether or not the story is, we're gonna be making more money enough to cover
Yeah,
the increase in the personnel.
we should be pretty
And be
close to
close.
that. Mhm. So what is it, 22% increase? And we increased for the fee.
About.
Yeah, so we're gonna be close to that. So it's gonna below the 8.75 COLA, so we should increase more pay.
Let's see the numbers.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I mean,
So-
for people, not for me.
So we're talking about roughly a $50,000 increase here. So am I hearing that we've calculated that the new rate increase should generate the rate increase should generate about 50,000 more next year? Has that calculation been done? Or projection, I guess?
But we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, she's gonna get those numbers, but we're doing rough guesses at a 20% increase, and it was 100,000 this year, so it's actually about 110, so probably 100, well, it'd be
Yeah,
close,
it'd be
about
close.
40,000 anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
and
that,
that's assuming everything else remains equal.
right.
Correct.
And so I mean, it'd be good to look at that as we look at it with the budget committee, so. Because
Yeah.
the sticker price on this is large. I mean,
Yeah,
a total of 18% increase.
well, that's exactly where I'm coming from. If we've done some works projecting that the rate increase, if the number of runs maintain the same, that this increase is gonna pay for itself or virtually pay for itself.
Right.
That's a whole different kettle of fish dealing with the budget committee.
Yep,
Correct.
so.
But that's a fairly complicated calculation.
I will get it from like, I'm sending this in tonight, so I'll send this in and I'll email her and just say, hey, could you let us know? You know, with this increase. percentage wise, if we're bringing in about the same amount of call volume and money, what it would be. So, and that way I can get it from her and copy and put it on our budget committee notes.
So that helps for ambulance, but there's no income offset for the fire department. So when we get to that, we'll have a different discussion.
That's okay, we'll increase this a little bit to help the fire department. Right, David?
So do we want to table this until we get the, Terry can go through and do the adjustments and we get the, a new number perhaps on the billing?
Well, let's see, we're not meeting with the budget committee till April, so we could.
Well, I meant table it to maybe even tomorrow night or something if we have the numbers, but
I wouldn't push it. That'd be tight. I just soon do it pending in future information, better calculations, newer calculations.
Updated.
Just because I only got that last night,
Yeah.
so I haven't got it to her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send that to her, ask for a write-off, see what they have for a copy of a policy that they would use or they have used with other people.
Yeah.
And then I'll also ask for what anticipated increase of revenue with what we did this year, ish, percentage wise.
so Jeff, I'm not sure what you're looking for. You want a motion to table or a motion to approve pending?
Yeah, I think a motion to approve pending.
Okay, so we can make an adjustment on the billing on the fly, so to speak?
Yes.
Sounds great.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second
We,
it.
we approve the budget as presented with the wage adjustments that we discussed, or salary adjustments we discussed, and the FICA, and understanding that the billing may increase.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Oh, did you say all those in favor?
All those in
Yeah, I
favor?
said aye.
Okay.
John, I was writing a note, sorry. John,
Jeff, aye. That's 3-0.
Yay, thank you. All right, so I'll get those and John, I'll send you that paperwork I gave to them.
yeah, that'd be great.
I'll also work on what I'm gonna send to the budget committee so that you guys have it too.
John,
Yes.
John, can you hear me?
Not well.
Ah, open the microphone. Mark. What was the last part, with the,
With the understanding that the billing number may be increased.
okay,
And I guess what I meant by that is when Amy gets a number, if this is okay with Jeff and Sue, I guess what I meant by that is when Amy gets a number, you just plug in that number and that's where we're at.
okay,
Yes.
that sounds good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you want me to be a cheerleader now?
You just send me.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'm going to teach the class now.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Terry.
Okay, page 15, go back a page.
15.
Let's see.
Oh, did we need to do reserves with Amy?
Oh, we did forget that.
Can we catch her?
Reserves, got to do reserves.
Agreed. Sorry, I was gone. I was trying to run.
Gone a little fast.
I was working it. Jerry told me to stay. So we're not putting in, so my question was the ambulance reserves. We're paying back the fire reserve, correct?
Yeah, last year.
But we're also not putting anything into an ambulance reserve at this point.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't put into the ambulance
Until-
reserve since we're
Putting in,
putting,
okay,
yeah, since we're pulling basically.
okay.
Um,
Does that mean we'll be behind the ball when we need a new ambulance?
Yes.
Yep.
So what that means is when we start doing it next year, it wouldn't be for we need to start putting enough away so that we're good.
So is the fire one paid off next year?
The fire one is paid off
Yeah.
next
In the
year
budget we're
in
working
this
on.
budget. This
Okay,
budget pays
perfect.
it off.
So next year we'll start putting away for it.
Correct.
Oh, perfect.
Give us our money back.
David, I'm trying.
But you do have 5,000 for defib,
Yes,
and I think we started down this path. We're calling it the defibrillator reserve. Is it really a defibrillator reserve, or is it?
it is.
Okay.
That's what we literally have put it together only for
Okay,
the defibrillator. My question was, did we want to do it as an equipment reserve?
Well, I think
Yes.
we had that discussion and we
Yes.
never concluded, but I guess I would look to you. How much
So-
is it? How much is it, the fib these days?
$42,820.
Well, we only have 21. How long is the current one gonna last?
We just got this one, so probably another 6 years.
Well,
Yeah.
at $5,000, that would get us there,
Yep, and I think that's what we did.
but of course, the cost is gonna increase in 6 years.
But we'll also be able to turn in the one we have. The last time we could not turn in the one we had. Because it was 20 years old.
Personally, I'd like,
Jump cables.
personally, I'd like to make an equipment reserve because that gives us more flexibility without having to go to town meeting if the ambulance has a critical piece of equipment they need.
Agreed.
And I'm not comfortable spending money that's designated for defib on, say, I don't know what else equipment you have without town meeting approval, but I would be if it just said equipment reserve.
Yes, because that being said, we could have used that for our auto loader or some of that. If we
Or
did.
whatever.
Right. So I would rather have it as an equipment reserve because that's where I have everywhere else, but it never got switched over here because it just was focused on the monitor. So I don't know how to do that.
Well, we can do that by changing it in the budget and changing it in the warrant.
Perfect.
I just
But,
changed.
but do we want to do that, Jeff
I
and
would
Sue?
say yes. Oh, sorry.
I definitely wanted,
And Sue?
I don't see why not.
yeah.
Okay, then I don't think we need to vote on it. We can just have Cherry, but Cherry, you gotta make sure you remember to change it in the warrant.
Sure.
Right. Okay,
It doesn't really matter what it says here, it's what's in the warrant.
So do we want to leave it at 5,000? I would say this year I would, because we got 21 in there.
yeah, 21.
Under this
Well-
one. Under this one, it's already gone.
Have
Ambulance
ambulance
equipment.
equipment.
With 21,000, isn't that what he just said?
Yeah. So didn't
What's
we?
that?
This one here that I have already says ambulance
Equipment.
equipment. And that was the total he just said.
Yeah, everywhere else we've got it, it's shown the fib.
Well, what did the warrant, let's look at the warrant. Maybe we did change it.
I know we talked about it last year.
We did talk about it.
Yeah, and but we did,
Yeah, this is just the ledger.
it's just
I
the.
got it. I'll look. I got it.
Spelled.
Hmm.
Nope, it says defib in the warrant,
Yeah.
page 47 on the town report.
We'll change it.
Okay. So do I hear a motion to put $5,000 into the ambulance equipment reserve?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor?
I,
John, I.
Jeff, I. And that's the only one you're doing, right? Yep,
I think so.
okay, now I think you can run
Are you sure?
quickly.
Thanks again.
David,
No, I don't need an audience.
Jerry said yes. All right, you guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
Thanks again.
thank you.
Okay, so her 18% increase is covered by about a 20% increase in revenues. What say you?
Start sending the bills out. Works for
Okay.
it.
All right, shoot.
All right, so the salaries and stipends. And we might have to check, I possibly might have just did 8.7, I'm not sure. But those should all be just the COLA increases. You might want to double check.
So Terry, you can check those, can't you? Easily.
I gotta find the budget first.
Yep, that's what I got, 8.7.
Yep, I had a feeling I did that. And
I don't think it's gonna change it much, David.
no, I just, hey, you said straight across the
That's
board.
right.
so-
Yeah, no, I agree. We should change it, but I don't, dollar wise, I meant.
Yeah, no. That's why, because the one she sent me, it said just 8.7.
Oh, did it?
That's why I went by that. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was 8.7, actually.
but this other one says 8.75, the new one I just got.
We should look in the minutes on what we voted.
Oh, sure, 8.75.
And I don't remember, the letter we sent out. Was it in the letter?
Should be. If I can find it.
Yeah.
I think what's critical though is what we voted on in the minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
Approximate date, I can look through the minutes.
As before I left,
yeah. This one was-
we don't need to worry about that now, do we?
Well, as long as. Because it'll end up,
Change it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think
Terry
it'll
can,
end up-
Terry can make those adjustments.
Okay,
I mean, that's just a suggestion to keep us moving, but
I can continue to look while you talk.
okay. All right, so 8.7 or 8.75,
Yeah.
whichever it is, okay.
And that's just all those stipends, that's all you see for the increase. Training,
David, before you leave, are all those positions filled currently?
uh.
I think the answer is no, but
The answer is no right now.
so obvious fire chief is the deputy.
Yep, Jerry
Now,
has a deputy now. The assistant chief is open,
Okay,
and then the 3 captains are full. So the only one that's open is assistant chief right now.
okay. And can you just remind me who the captains are, just for,
Todd Butler, Jeff Hadler, and Dave Benner.
thank you, Dave.
Yep.
David.
So the trainings. I came up with that number. That was different. So I did 18 trainings for the year, times 4 hour every night. Come up with 72 hours worth of trainings. I multiplied that by 15 firefighters. And that come out to 1,080 hours. And then which we're gonna get into in a second, but I multiplied that by $16 an hour, an average of ours, and come up with the 17,280.
The obvious question here is, we've only spent 2,392 for the first 6.5 months.
Yes, and
Is that, and
I'm not
obviously,
sure. I don't know why-
obviously, huh?
Sorry, I don't know why that is. I'm not really sure.
You got any?
I think we're gonna have to find the answer to that, because certainly someone on the budget committee is gonna ask.
Yeah,
Because they're paid quarterly?
Oh, because they're paid quarterly?
Yeah, well, that should have been 2 quarters. Unless I'm missing a piece of the puzzle. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, David. I know you just took over, but I think, I'm just saying collectively, we need to we need to find out why.
pretty sure we trained every month. I don't think we canceled any trainings.
We did have limited numbers on quite a lot of them.
We did, and we had a lot of less people too,
Uh,
at the trainings. Like my new number is just, I had to pick a number of personnel being in every training, and Brian used to go by 15 firefighters. And that's what I did. I chose 15, but a lot of these trainings and the fire maintenance stuff, you know, we only had maybe like 6 people at most at some of them, so it's, we were down on membership for most of those months.
Yeah. That might, yeah, I don't know if that explains it all. It certainly would explain some of it.
We haven't sent anybody to any schools this, in the last 6 months either,
No,
like, you know, the fire 1 and 2 programs or anything,
yeah, no,
so.
no extra trainings
Right.
except for 1 a month.
And those can be a big chunk when they go.
Yeah,
Yeah, because last year you spent, I mean, we budgeted 16 for the 18-month period, and you spent almost 15, so.
yeah.
I'm just saying that someone's gonna ask that question, so.
Yeah, and I was asking that question myself. I thought that number looked really low, even with the membership being down. I thought it was low.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna figure it out today.
No.
You want me to talk about our hourly wages real quick before we move on, just so these numbers make sense of what I figured out
Yes.
or what I went by. So the pay scale that we had before. Oh, good hand. It was done by attendance and evaluations for the year. And then that was figured out on what you got, each personnel got for a hourly wage for the year, fiscal year. What I'd like to propose is with the 8.7% COLA. And then I'll just break it down how I have it broke down. So the 3 chiefs will get $17 an hour, just flat. The captains will be $16.50, lieutenants 16. If you're an interior firefighter, it'd be $15.50, and then exterior is right at the $15 mark. And I did that because the $15 mark is the minimum wage right now, plus times the 8.7 COLA. That give us the $15 for the base firefighter coming in with no certifications at all. And then I just went up 50 cents for each level that you go from there up. So that's kind of how I figured that, and I wanted to run that by you guys to see what you thought about that pay scale.
So we weren't using a basic pay per hour
It was a mess.
rate?
This is
Yeah,
it.
it was all over the place.
Yeah, it was a mess.
That's what I'm going by right now.
And
This
I don't
year.
know if that happened when Owen was here or what. I don't think I can blame everything on Owen.
I mean, right now, we have lieutenants that are making the minimum wage and regular firefighters making more than lieutenants. It's messed.
Yeah.
Brian always said the wages, he always,
Yeah,
Bill, this is this guy and this is what he made.
Well,
Yeah.
that brings up a question. I don't know when we got away from the select boards establishing wage rates either. I know years ago, when I was first involved, town meeting did. And we kind of wrestled it from them, and then somehow or other it slipped away from the board down to some of the department heads, and I'm not sure that I agree with that, but
Well, I agree 100% because the last time I was on the board, we went through a huge process to come up with the rates for each of the, and we were trying to get equity between the
yeah, I know.
ambulance and the fire, and we looked at all the other fire departments and what they were paying, and we came up with something similar to what you've got right here. I'm actually surprised that it's as low as it is, to be frank.
Compared to what the ambulance crew is gonna be making,
Right.
we are way low.
Yeah.
So these are our regular, just with the 8.7, what his pay scale was this year. And that's what the numbers are. So you can see, I just rounded them off, so it was even.
So David, the 8.7 in the 17, for example, $17 an hour, that includes the 8.7?
Yes,
Okay, and that's true right down the line.
yes, yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
Can I just say that I found the minutes and it's 8.7, and I've been looking through the budget, and that's what I used, so I don't know where 8.75
Okay.
came from, except for I did write it in the budget.
Okay.
I didn't
Point
use
seven.
So that'll impact the ambulances budget because we're gonna
Yeah.
have to go back and make that 8.7.
Terry's probably got that done already.
I'm almost.
Well, I'm two things here. I'm supportive of going back to a rate system that based on your rank.
Qualification.
And similar to what David's proposing. You
So
know,
when you
that-
say interior versus exterior, that's SCBA qualified firefighter one.
No, just air pack qualified,
Air pack
you are, sir, you can go into a burning building.
Okay, so whether they've got firefighter one or two
Yeah,
is
doesn't
immaterial.
matter.
Okay.
Yep. Because a lot of
'Cause I
people
think
choose
that's what
not
we
to
use.
when they come,
Yeah.
but they still want to be an interior firefighter,
Yeah.
and that's fine, you don't have to have that.
Yeah, because I think that's where we made the distinguishment before. That once you were firefighter one and two qualified and SCBA qualified, then you got a bump.
Yeah, I question whether the higher ones are higher enough. I mean, I'm not so sure that someone who just walks in off the street doesn't have any training at all, no experience at all. I mean, 15 doesn't sound too bad to me, but some of the higher people that are more qualified, just making $1.50 more doesn't seem quite right.
But I just did it as a starting point, because I
Yeah,
wanted. to
I know,
remind you guys.
I'm just throwing, but I'm willing, David, I'm personally willing to do whatever you want to do because I'd like to see you get a good start here and do what you think is best out there.
Yeah, and the advantage to the other ones, they're also getting a stipend in addition to the hourly, so there's little bit of a bump there. Your numbers in here are based on your new thought process or?
Yeah, they're based on this
Okay.
17, 16, those.
Okay.
And that's how I figured out the training, the fires and maintenance, all that is by that.
So the rates are the same for all training and fire and maintenance.
Yes, in this new budget.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think one thing that maybe we need to take a look at, kind of jumping back to the training, is maybe take a look at a utilization rate. I mean, I know you factored it on 16 firefighters attending every training, but how realistic is that? And maybe you can go back and take a look at that, and maybe you need to multiply that number by 0.8 or something, or 0.6 even, because you know some people aren't gonna, not everybody's gonna make every training.
Yeah,
I would think. I mean,
no,
but
they don't.
so, I mean, that would lower your number there a little bit, and probably make it a little more realistic. And it might give you a little more room to talk about wages. I don't know.
There's also nothing factored in there for outside training. If we send a firefighter to fire 1 and 2 school now, it's about $900 tuition for that, plus his wages. So
There,
That's gonna switch things up too.
Yeah, that's a good point, because we haven't been doing that much lately, right?
And we are getting some new firefighters now.
Right.
You do have training school, a line item for
Yeah,
training schools.
To pay
and
for the
travel.
school. That's
But
not
it's that,
fair.
but that's not their hourly
No.
while they're there.
That's just to pay for books, tuition, that stuff. And Brian last year had 13,363 in there for the 12 months. Or this year we're in right now,
Yeah.
or whatever. So I mean, we're not, with the pay increase, only $4,000 more.
Do we want to keep walking through this and kind of then jump
Yeah.
back up again, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Cause that. So that's only about a $5,000 increase.
And also, while we're talking about that, I want to talk to you about the chief's position being hourly, going back to hourly and stipend. Hourly for trainings and calls, and stipend for administrative work items.
Is that where we fell last time? Is that what you're doing now? Isn't that what you're doing now?
No, right now,
No.
my hourly wage, I
You're
took
just
over the
getting
rest of the
stipend.
chief's stipend. And I do know Brian was coming back in this budget to say the same thing.
Are you the one to get that now?
So all the stipends up in the salaries and stipends, they all get hourly wage except for the chief.
David, how does it work in the ambulance department? If Amy or you go on a call, do you get
Yeah,
hourly?
I get stipend plus hourly. If Amy comes here and works per diem,
Yeah,
she gets her stipend plus hourly while she's here.
yeah. And all the positions under you are stipends and hourly as well, right?
Yep, they've
And
never
that's
changed.
that's the way it always used to be, and I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened, and I don't want to get into it, but
Yeah,
it
me
was always
too.
that way until one individual in town questioned that the former fire chief was kind of double dipping, and the select board at the time, I wasn't on it, kind of tried to appease that individual, and I think that was a mistake.
Yep,
Yep.
I agree.
I'm sure you would.
So I guess the second question is, did the stipend get a bump when they did that, or?
It did, it did.
Because that stipend is quite a bit higher than the others.
What's the ambulance director's stipend? I can't remember.
11,000 something.
Yeah,
It used to be 15.
yeah. She used to be 15, but we stole 5 of it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So it is less than obviously the ambulance director.
Yeah.
And they still get hourly.
Well, I personally, I'm okay with that change to David's, the way David's paid. I think that gets us back to where we were, and it gets everybody on the same plane. That doesn't address the question of whether his salary is appropriate, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's my, I think we ought to be paying both. But I just have an uncomfortable feeling about the amount of the stipend. Although it's not a huge issue with me.
And I know, because I sent everything from the fire side that's in Amy's packet that you don't have, John. And I know St. George is that way. St. George Fire Chief gets a stipend per month. And then he gets a $25 an hour on every call and training.
and you're talking about just 17.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, are we good with that part of it, or can we move on from that and then talk about his salary?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. That,
So
that's where I.
when you say you're uncomfortable, you think it's too high or too low?
Well, no, I think the stipend part of it was artificially increased to make up for the fact that he was no longer getting hourly. And so now we're gonna put the hourly back in and do we want to then take that artificial bump out of the stipend or leave the stipend? Is the stipend still reasonable? That's the only question I've got on it.
Well, I have an opposite take. I would propose that we increase it to be equal to the ambulance director.
When that bump was artificially increased to make up for the hours lost,
Right.
that was several years ago as well.
Right, yeah,
So now we're back to today, and I don't think that that's a horrible place to be with those numbers.
and what did we change the ambulance? The new ambulance, I don't know if you saw it.
Well,
8.7 was the right number instead of
No,
8.7.
You're right.
so it's 11,511.
11,500.
I'm not gonna write all this down. I'm just gonna wait till Terry sends it out.
So your feeling is that we ought to have the two of them on par.
I've always felt that way for years,
Okay,
but I'm just one person.
yeah.
I mean, with the training and stuff, do you get training on top of that or you don't get it?
Right now,
Yeah,
my training, my fire calls, and all the administrative stuff is out of
is that one?
that 10,000, whatever it is, 9,919 right now.
And in the numbers you put for the wages, does that already include you getting it or not?
That would be one of the 15.
One of the 15.
On all the calls and everything, yeah.
So if we took the fire chief to 11,511 and left everything else the same in stipends and wages, that'd be an increase of what, $700 and some dollars, right?
Yeah, I still think the training wages are high, though. Not the wage themselves, but the total.
Right.
I guess I'd ask David to go back and take a look at that.
Yep.
And I think you can almost make the same argument about the fire and maintenance. I mean, that's not quite as bad, but it's close.
Yeah, that one, if we're going on to that one now. I wouldn't mind if we could make that two different lines.
Oh, fire and maintenance.
Yes, fire one line, fires one line, maintenance the other, because maintenance, we know how many maintenance nights we're gonna have. So for maintenance, I have 11,520 out of that, whatever it was, 18,157.
What is it?
11,520. So that was going by the same thing. 12 truck checks, because we just have one a month, times 4 hours a night, equals 48 hours. I multiplied that by 15 firefighters again, and come up with 720 hours. And I times that by 16, just the average of that new wage that I gave you, and come up with 11,520.
Okay.
So the actual wages spent actually fighting fires on calls is pretty small compared to
Yeah,
training and maintenance. Yeah.
got 6,637.
Yeah, I like separating those two.
Yeah.
David, again, sorry.
6,000.
6,000.
Oh,
6,000.
6,637 for fires.
Thank you.
And I do not remember how I come up with the fires.
That's gonna be a variable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think. I don't remember now.
So if you can revisit the training line, just to.
Yep.
Rather than all 15 or 16 folks going,
Yeah,
some
Yep.
percentage of that.
yeah, I'll figure that out.
Okay, John, you ready to move contract services?
yep,
All right, so the benefits are obviously Gary's thing. So health connections, we left the same at 400. Vehicle maintenance and repairs. I put 12,000 in this because we've been over every year. Hopefully at some point that's gonna go down once we get new trucks. But we still have that old truck for at least half of this next budget. You okay with that one?
I'm actually thinking that's a little low, but.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But we do have that, don't we have that repair reserve that has some money in it?
We do, yep,
It's
that's good.
got
Truck repair reserve,
26,000 in it.
yeah,
Okay. Then I feel better.
and that, we were shooting in that one for like $30,000 because if we lose a pump on a truck, it's gonna be a good $30,000 repair. All right. So you wanna move on to the next one then?
Yep.
The SCBA flow testing. That. Do you guys have 1,200 on that or 1,080?
1,200.
1,200, okay. The price on that went up, so the 1,200 is right. Miscellaneous repairs for equipment. I did 5,000. Pump tests, I kept that the same, seems like we've been running just under that every year. Cascade system, I left that the same, 1,000. We've been running almost 900 on that. This is a question I have on this next line. Fire pond maintenance. So we have a fire pond maintenance reserve account. And we have a line in our budget. Last year, we put money into the reserve account, but did not do any repairs.
Right.
This year, I'd like to do repairs and not put into the equipment reserve, I guess. Is that how that works?
Well, you can still put into the fire pond reserve account. Unless you're gonna use the fire pond reserve to fund this particular line, which is what I recommend anyway, so.
So take 5,000 out of the
Yes,
reserve, okay.
yeah. And that's why there's two lines. One is.
But we
one
can
is
put
where you-
5,000 in it.
if
or
you-
no?
No, if you take it out, you can't put it in, so.
I think I got that.
Okay. So the plan is this year to do some fire. pond
Yes,
maintenance.
because we didn't last year.
Right.
So what is the total cost of the work that you plan to do?
Well, I don't have a total cost on that. We just need to look at what we have for maintenance and stuff that needs to be done. And
So are you thinking somewhere around 5 grand?
yeah, last time was right around that when we put a couple dry hydrants in and dredged. So,
Yeah, okay.
so should I put a 0 in that then?
No, just leave it at 5,000.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
And then we'll remember to take it from the.
all right.
That will zero out the fire pond maintenance reserve though.
Well,
No,
There's
that-
none.
no, it's got 9,000 in there, 9972795.
Okay, I'm on the wrong line. Sorry. I was looking at the recreation reserve.
All right,
Okay. I'll shut up.
Where were we? Fail safe, that's our hose testing. yearly hose testing, and I just put the same in. This year we lost some hose and came in a little bit low. The SCBA hydro tests. I put 1,000 in. Bear with me 1 second. I don't know if that, because I had already turned this in, and they finally sent me the quotes on the updated this year's price. Let me just make sure while we're right here. Oh, there it goes. So that should be 1,020 for what we have for bottles coming up next year. Just go back and look. Okay, so I'll be down here. All right, perfect. So 1,020. Fuel, I just kept it the same. It looks like we're gonna be right around that same yearly thing. The Verizon and the Verizon phone, I have no idea where we stand with that, because Brian's cell phone was paid for and now that's been taken out. And I don't know. I see that the ambulance has a Verizon phone. I don't know if that's Amy's phone.
No, it's the tablet.
Okay, so when Brian told me a while back that we pay out of this money for the ambulance tablet.
No, the
So-
ambulance pays for their own. It's broken down. They have a line for
Okay.
their items.
All right.
No.
So I wanted to make sure we weren't paying like double for the same tablet.
This is. You paid for Brian's phone and the tablets. And your.
In all the trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then out of that bill, $40 and I don't know, change is charged to Amy's account because it's for her tablet.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Perfect. So that's, I guess it's gonna be less because of Brian's phone being taken off now.
What shows off?
I don't want to South Thomaston.
I don't like.
I mean, I'll take a $40 stipend or something for it, but I'm not, you know, I don't want a South Thomaston phone.
You don't want to carry two phones?
No, I'm good with that.
So you're saying strike the $3,000?
No. That's gonna, the majority of that is all the tablets in our fire apparatus.
Okay,
They all have internet and the tablets that go
all
with it.
right, okay.
So the only thing it's gonna be, the yearly bill is gonna be less because of Brian's phone is taken out of that now. Taken off, I should say. So the dues, I don't really know. I know what dues we pay, but I don't know what each one of these dues is for. The only thing I do know is the dues for the Knox County Mutual Aid was 75 for years and they just upped it to 200. But I don't know which one that is in here.
I would say it's that first one because under the year that we had 18 months, it was 150 and it probably got paid twice in that period.
Yep, okay,
So that's what I'm guessing.
all right. And I know the bill was just sent to Phil like a week or two ago for the new 200.
But it looks like that's what we paid. We paid 186 last year. Is that the one where you paid for
Per firefighter.
firefighter? Yeah.
No, it's not. That was a flat fee.
I don't know.
It was always a flat $75, but this year the county has a cyanide kits. So they needed to up it to pay for those.
Yeah, I guess I don't know which one it would be then. That would have just been my guess.
Yeah, so I left them all the same because I'm really not sure what's what.
Could I suggest that since David's new, that maybe Terry, you and David and Phil kind of look at what's what here, because it seems to me it's a mishmash. And maybe we need to label them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Because I mean, we got one that has an actual that had nothing budgeted, and then we got one that's had 600 budget and there's no actuals and.
Right.
it seems
Yeah.
all o-
That $27 that you see in there, that was for the Knox County Fire Chiefs Association annual dinner at the Samoset. Brian had signed up for that, but then got done before he went, but we still had to pay for the dinner, so that's why that 27's in a funky spot.
Yeah, but I still think it would be, rather than us spending a lot of time trying to guess for the amount
Yeah.
of money, just try to figure it out.
Definitely. So we'll look at that. Training materials, I just left that at 500. Travel for the schools, I put that back in at 250 because we do have some new members coming in and that we might be sending to schools, and that's their mileage. That travel is for the mileage. Training schools, the price, I put 2,000 in there now because the price of the Knox County training school for fire 1 and 2 is gone way up. This year it's like $800 or $900 per student, when before it was only like pay for your books and the class was free. So that's gone way up. So I did up that a little bit. So that $27 actually should have come out of that 519 line. Oh well. All right.
So insurance is pretty much.
Yeah, insurance is the same. I mean, hurt stuff. Supplies, fire prevention. You're gonna see-
Can we talk, one thing, Terry, we still carry replacement cost insurance on our fire trucks, correct?
Correct.
It's not cash value, it's not market value.
I will double check, but I'm quite sure.
Yeah, well, it's a huge difference. I mean, because, and I think we want to carry replacement value, because if a truck gets totaled, the cost to replace it's $500,000, and probably what they're going to give you for it is maybe 100,000 on the other. That's one of the great benefits of being in the MMA system.
Alcid found that out.
So did St. George.
Yeah, that's right.
Did they?
I mean, that's such a huge difference, and I know it's an unlikely event, but it's not impossible.
No, that's exactly right. You all set on insurance, John?
Yep, sorry, that was
No,
more
that's
for,
fine.
that was more for Terry. I worry about that every year, that would somehow.
So fire prevention, you're gonna see that almost doubled. Because we have the school in Alshead now that we go to. And Alshead, they bailed us out last year. On supplying most of the stuff to the school, so. We upped that to be able to cover our portion of the fire prevention supplies for the Alshead school. Trucking station supplies, 3,000. EMS supplies. We have EMS bags on the trucks, and I talked to Amy about what we had in the budget, and she recommended 500 instead of 300, just because of the increase in what's going up for like AED pads that we have to buy that expire. So that's why that's 500.
Can I ask why we have 0 under the actuals? Do we have an inventory on hand or something that we were,
No, we haven't gone through that yet and purchased the
okay,
expiring stuff yet.
yep, thank you.
And PPE cleaning, I just left that the same. Turnout gear, I put 5,000 in that, but I just received the updated price for pants and coat. And that should be, to get 2 sets now, it should be $6,200. They're $3,100 for pants and coat, the 1 set.
Not that we use them or anything.
And I think that's what the plan was, to get 2 sets like each year, so we weren't buying 10 sets in 1 year. So that's the updated for that,
What was that number, David?
6,200. That's for 2 sets of turnout gear.
That's not boots or helmets, right?
That's nothing, that's just a pair of pants and a coat, it's $3,100. PPE, I just kept it the same, 4,000, so that's for the rest of it, that'd be for the boots, gloves, hoods, helmets, whatever we need. If someone wears out something. The AFG SCBA. I just put 0 in that. I'm guessing that we didn't get that, and that's why there's no,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah. Air mask, that's for the SCBA masks are for our air packs. We, to stay going, we put 1,260 in there, and that was for 4 new masks, I think. Yeah, 4 new masks. Air bottles, we have air bottles that are going out of service this next budget year, 23-24. So that price in there is to replace those, whatever, I can't remember the amount that's gonna be out of service. I think it's 3 bottles. Air compressor, we have purchased that, you haven't seen them, that's why there's nothing in there, we're just turning in the bills now. So we don't need that this year in this budget. Air packs, this 12,602, that's for 2 air packs, 2 new air packs. They are pricey. And that's the same thing like with the fire gear, just to, replace a couple every year to get us. We have a lot that are pretty old and straps and that stuff is starting to fail on them.
What's the
Isn't that
difference?
something in the past that's been fairly successful in getting MMAs to fund?
Yes. And definitely,
They have
right?
those little safety grants or something.
Yeah, I know we did a lot of the bottles out of that.
Yeah, I don't know if you're plugged into that, but you might want to just
Yes.
look into that. I don't know what their deadlines are.
Not sure, we gotta look into it.
There's one in the spring, a deadline in the spring, and they're gonna in the fall, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll look
And
into
then,
that.
and then I think they're pretty simple grants, so almost like 1 pages.
Perfect. What we like. Cool. Hand tools. I put 1,000 in there. And then we're getting ready to order new hand tools. That was a big price in this last year's budget to order some new hand tools for the new trucks coming and replacing some of the old ones that we have. So that's why that decreased quite a bit. And then all this other stuff is stuff we bought in the past that we don't need anything in there for this year. The only other thing that it didn't come up top, or didn't even make it on the sheet, is I had a $3,500 to order a new, it's called the Fast Rescue Sled. So it assists us when we're doing rapid intervention duties on a structure fire call or water rescue. It works in both. Actually multiple confined space too. We were putting this sled in the AFG grant, but as you know, as of last night, we did away with the AFG.
Yeah.
So I was putting this in the budget so we could purchase it in case we didn't get the AFG grant, but now we didn't put in for it, so.
So it's not in your 27.
It's not, no, I had it down bottom on the sheet, down where this miscellaneous equipment is, and it didn't make it through.
So you proposing to add that?
Yes, please.
Under equipment,
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
What was it called again?
Fast rescue sled.
Okay.
And I think that's it for the main part of the budget.
How much was it, David?
3,500.
Want to look at reserves?
Yes.
Do we, how are we gonna deal with this budget though? We gonna approve it with the changes or table it, or what are people thinking? I know we got to go back, David's gonna go back and get some other information.
Yeah, I think on this one, that we're better off kicking the can on it.
Okay,
Because there's so many numbers that need to be updated.
okay, I'll make a motion, we table this.
I'll second that.
For discussion. In general, we agree with this, but we need to get the numbers. We'll go
Yep.
through to that. And so the question is, how soon can you get us updated?
It's mainly just, I mean, quick.
Okay.
It's mainly
all right.
just figuring out what we want to have for a number in the training line. And then the dues, straighten out the dues. I think that was it, right?
Okay, so we'll plan to look at it again tomorrow. Wow. If you can get it done then. Okay, any further discussion?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
John?
Aye,
Jeff, aye.
All right,
Okay.
thank you, David, good job for your first time through.
Yeah,
thanks.
now reserves, his reserves.
All right, so I guess my biggest question right now is the fire pond maintenance one. What we want to do.
Yeah, you did not propose to put money into it, did you?
No, I put 0 because I had 5,000 in
We
the,
were gonna do
budget.
5 out.
Yeah, so we just leave it like that, and then when we do the where things get funded from side of it, we'll pull 5,000
so
from that reserve account.
question for you real quick.
Okay,
We might not spend 5,000. We might spend 6,000, we might spend 4 or 3 or 2, or does there need to be a number in there? Where it's coming out of reserves?
you do need to put a number in it. And you can actually go either way.
Yeah, we could just leave it in reserve and pull it out once he has a firm number, take it right out of the budget.
Yeah, we can. We could zero it there and just.
I
go
mean,
ahead.
but he can only use it for fire pond maintenance, you can't use it for something else.
Correct.
Yeah, no, that's all it would be used for.
Right,
Yeah.
whereas if it was in your contracted services budget, you really could use it for anything under contracted services, but I think you're almost better off to pull it out of the budget and leave it at 5 in the,
Yeah,
Well,
that will save us from arguing with budget committee. That'll take 5,000 off.
well,
Yeah, I just-
but if you get, see, if it's in the budget. It's in the budget, then he wouldn't have to come back to us or to get permission to use.
I know that, but he'd just have to come back to us.
Yeah,
Not like he'd have to go back to town meeting, you just have to come back to us.
back to us.
And he can do that once he has a firm number. And if
Okay.
if the number's 6, we can approve 6. If it's 4, we can approve 4 and
yeah, I like that better.
not even a firm number, but a good solid estimate. We could then say you could authorize to take up to X out of the reserve.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, so we're going back and we're taking 5,000 out of the
Fire pond.
fire pond on his budget.
Correct.
Yeah,
Plus
498.
plus it lowers the sticker shot on the fire budget $5,000.
Exactly.
It's gonna be easy now.
It's still gonna be close to 18% though.
I know.
3,500 in there.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
Okay, so,
So we'll leave the fire pond maintenance at 0 this year,
0, yeah, because you are.
Next year we'll
intending to
put-
take it up.
replenish it.
Yeah. Okay,
And then I had $69,960.25 for the fire truck reserve account, and that I did that by 15%, like what we've been doing usually, just because of the way trucks go up every year, and that's probably low what they're going up right now, but.
Well, we need the 60,835 to make the current truck funding scenario work. So we need to put in at least that.
Yeah. Yearly, every year, we usually go up by 15% for what we put in the reserve because of
Right.
the
Yeah.
price of trucks.
But what I'm saying is that the financing scheme on the new trucks anticipates or contemplated that, we'd be taking 60,835 from this reserve out of this budget.
Yes. And then going
Oh,
forward,
wait a minute. Are we need to, yeah, so we need to. Are we funding any of the fire truck purchase this year?
That depends on when they come.
Right.
What do you mean this year? You mean
In
this
this
current
budget.
year or next or this budget?
Oh, in this budget.
Not this
Yeah, in
budget.
this
Well,
budget.
that was the assumption. Right?
I thought,
They were gonna
well,
come sometime.
except that we were,
they won't be here before July 1st. No
No,
way.
next July.
Oh, you're talking next fiscal year.
yeah,
Well, that's what I'm asking Jeff.
yeah, see, this budget is this coming July to the following June.
Right.
So if we are expecting in that budget year to have an extra $60,000. Yeah,
And we are. I mean, I don't have my calculations when we did
Yeah.
all this back in last year's town meeting, but it definitely, and unless I'm totally losing it, which I think I am sometimes, it definitely contemplates a $60,000 contribution to make it all add up. I mean, I can go back and look at that, but
well, no, but we won't have a separate line item for the purchase of the fire truck.
no, that's already been approved and the financing scheme was approved.
Okay. So
And-
we can put this, okay, I'm just trying to figure out if we
Yeah.
can put money into the reserve because
Yeah.
our intention is to pull all of it out.
Exactly. Well, not if he put 69 in, it would be all but 9,000.
Yeah,
Just-
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So should we up that? So we're putting a fair amount of money in there to be looking in the future for the next trucks? Because we're
I'm
gonna run
on
into a single year or however many years you guys did the financing for.
Yeah, they based it on 10. No, matter of fact, what we're thinking is that you may not need to put 69,000. That you only have to put in the 60,000.
Yeah, but we're falling behind on our truck replacement plan though.
Yeah, but this is the money for this replacement, for the current truck, the truck we are currently ordering. So we're not falling behind. This is the end of the cycle.
And then we start again.
And then we start again on the next cycle.
But you're gonna be taking, well, okay, so 1
Right.
year here, we'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
After
comfortable.
that, it's gonna have to be double, like, it's gonna have to be a larger number. The next year after
Yes,
that.
yes.
Well,
Right.
I'm not comfortable doubling up on it either. I mean, we had
No,
to
no,
borrow
no.
this time. We had to
I
borrow
don't
this
think we're
time.
talking about that. I don't think we're talking about doubling up on it.
No,
Well,
not
David just said you'll be putting more
More.
in.
more, so we're not falling behind on our next 10-year replacement
Yeah.
plan. Because we're gonna be working into that out through the payments of these two trucks.
Come 10 years from now, we're gonna have to borrow something anyways, because we're not gonna get there with
Yeah,
reserve contributions.
so,
I mean, I don't know, I just think I just like to put in what we need for this year.
that's my thinking as well, which I think is probably 6,835.
Yeah, I'd like to go back and double check that. Which I probably can't do before tomorrow, but
Okay,
because Terry and I worked this up several different ways. Remember, Terry?
Yep. See if I can find it quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, given the proposed increase in the fire department budget and the fact that we're getting 2 new trucks, I mean, I think we should just stick with what we need, which I believe is the 60,000 for now, and not look at the 15% increase. And I know 10 years from now, that's gonna put us 9 grand behind, but I'll be 81.
Well, and in my mind, this is the end of the cycle, so we're putting in enough to purchase the current trucks.
Right,
And then the next year when we start it, it's for the next 10 years.
right. And then we can start having a debate of next year about what is the proper amount to put in.
Right,
But that would be the following budget.
correct.
That would be my preference.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can't easily find it. I'll keep looking later.
Okay.
I thought it was $60,080.
Yeah, I think it's probably the same number that we put in.
Oh, would it be in the? No, it wouldn't be in here.
No, I don't think it's in there.
I don't think you.
I got it on my computer, but if I go there, I'm gonna lose the Zoom meeting, so.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Thanks. So the other one I had, $10,000 going into the fire equipment reserve account.
Yeah, that's at 28, so it'd be 38. Okay, good.
And then nothing.
60,835 from the fiscal year 24 appropriation.
Okay. So let's change that number to 6835. Did you catch that, John?
Yeah,
Okay.
You heard me, John?
I did.
And she was whispering.
I still would like to double check what I got on my workup sheets.
Okay.
Okay. I just took it from the warrant.
Yep,
And
The other two, we
you're
didn't
not
have.
doing the other two.
No.
Okay.
Do you know if any of these have a cap on them and we're already capped out on them?
I don't think we capped any of them, although the chief had in mind how much he wanted to put in there. His intention was not to keep filling them if we didn't use them.
Okay.
So he had in his mind where a target figure, I guess, to put in there. Okay, John, you ready to? Did you say you wanted to check that?
yeah, I can't tonight,
Okay.
so without, yeah. I'd have to leave the meeting.
So you want to table that till tomorrow night?
Sure.
Or do 6/8/35 pending your,
Yeah, let's do 6/8/35. And then if we have to revisit it, then. So I'll make a motion, we approve 60,835 in the fire truck reserve.
and 10,000 in the fire equipment reserve.
Yeah, sure, same motion.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
John?
Aye, John.
Aye, Jeff. Okay,
Well,
you have your marching orders? You know what you need to do?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And like Captain Butler just said, we could take that fast sled out of the equipment reserve account, because we do have like almost $30,000 in there, or $28,000.
That would help the budget, I think, yeah.
The other thing you don't have in the budget is a $5,000
Oh, you're
compressor.
looking at the clock?
Yeah, we're still up over the wages and
Yeah, I
the haul.
know. Oh, I just-
It's almost, so the 35, did you catch that, John? He's pulling the 3,500 for the sled. And his intention is when he gets it, he's gonna do it through the, just take it from the reserve.
He's muted.
Yeah, he should be able to hear us. He just, we
Right.
can't hear him.
You're muted, John.
He do that.
Sorry, I was having another conversation. Yeah, I
Okay.
heard that. I think that's good. I think that's a good idea.
All right, and you got that, Terry? The 3,500 you added in the sled is zero.
We're gonna take, oh, okay, you're gonna do it the same way as the fire pond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then just don't forget the step that once you're going to buy it, just, and you have a firm number, come back and say, we're gonna buy it, and we go, okay.
Yep. That works for me.
All righty, did you have anything else?
Oh, probably, but I don't think so.
I'd like to echo what John said, for the first time through. Of course, now you gotta face the budget committee in there. They're a little tougher.
If you do as good as you did tonight,
Yeah.
you did.
That's very good.
Thank you very much. And thank you guys for cheerleading for him.
Who was cheerleading? I know Jerry.
And Todd
Oh,
And Ralph.
and Ralph. Yeah,
oh, okay.
And even Amy for a while.
yeah.
She's bailed by it, so.
All right.
Is this considered a selectmen's meeting right now? I mean, like I can ask you a question and get permission or no?
Depends. What's your question?
So we have two pieces of equipment that we have replaced. We'd like to sell, get what money we can and donate that to our auxiliary. Then not large pieces of equipment. One's the old compressor. We have a couple people that are interested that would like to donate money to it and take that away. And where we've received the generator from the EMA, they donated that. We have an older one that we'd like to just sell off and use the EMA one. And the auxiliary right now is buying us two new suitcase ones and don't donate them to us. So I just was thinking if we could help them replenish that with the funds would be great.
John?
I'm kind of pressed for time here, and I think, is this something we could take up on the 24th? Because I think this is a little more complicated than meets the eye.
Yeah, that.
I mean, the
that's-
donation's actually an expenditure.
Yeah,
So because I'm pressed with time, if we could take it up on the 24th, I'd be
28.
28.
28th, I'd be happy. Could we?
That's fine with me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
okay. I didn't know if you had a time sensitivity or not, David, so,
You don't
No,
have a
no,
current
no.
buyer.
It's just getting them out of the station, that's all, just
yeah.
when time comes.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
To, did we finish streetlights?
Yeah.
I have to check off.
Okay, so
Yeah.
planning board. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think Irv changed anything, but I changed something on it.
Okay,
Where Hannah's taking the minutes.
yep,
I just calculated her hourly rate instead of. No, maybe I didn't. No, it looks like I
Nothing there.
just changed it to. The 1.87. So never mind. I thought I changed it to her rates, but I guess I didn't.
did you want to change it to her?
No, I must have figured that would cover it. I'm thinking of the building and grounds.
Okay.
I changed the wage there to match her. Sorry, they all went together for a while.
I guess my only question is, with the new policy on the bylaws on requiring certain projects to be notified, did that require an ad in the paper? Can't remember.
No, they just notified through mail. I mean, they
Okay,
did. Yeah,
okay.
they did put an ad that. I guess
Okay,
that-
I'll make a motion. We approve the 28-26 then.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi, John.
Hi, Jeff. CEO. CEO. Where is CEO?
Should be early on, right?
Yep.
Page 13.
Wait, I gotta find it.
Yeah.
Can't seem to find it.
Line number 412.
Well, I was doing so good, keeping everything in order.
It's after the town landing, John.
Yeah, I got stuff out of order here. Yep. Got it.
The wage has the 8.7% COLA. Medicare is what it is. The track cell phone this year to pay for a whole year was $214. I have to say, I don't use it because I use my own phone and I'm at the town office all the time, so they just call the town office, but that doesn't mean I'll be there forever, so I'll probably should stay in it. I left the mileage at 500, I think that will be plenty. The mileage that the last code enforcement officer had was pretty crazy. I don't know how he ever got what he had, but I think that'll be fine. Workers' comp and unemployment, they're what they are, and this is my wish list, in case I'm there forever. It is a program, and St. George has it, and I haven't gone down to see it yet because I was working on budgets, I didn't have time. Terry raved about it. It's basically a software that you can enter your permits in, and they actually will print a permit out, and you can go back and you enter all your old stuff. It's more just an easier way to keep track of everything instead of having all these paper files, and it's
Nice.
in the cloud, they take care of it for you and they back things up, and
Is it 3,200 a year?
it's 1,200 for the setup for the first year, and then it's 2,000 a year after that.
So,
I would also be fine with putting it off till next year. I mean, I don't think it's something, I think it's something we should be thinking about that would be good for us to move forward into the technology world a little bit. Doesn't have to be this year. If it is, it is. If not, I'll put it in next year's budget.
Okay, I have a question. It may not make any sense, but so our actuals for code enforcement were 67.25 and 21.22, and so far in 22-23, 57.13. So why is our budget 25.1? Or why was
we can't keep anyone in the job.
Yeah, they gave everyone, they
just
gave,
because there's nobody
they
there?
gave the code enforcement officer a huge raise to get somebody to come.
But I have a related question that I think kind of gets at where you're going. And I'm just gonna throw it out there. Terry, are you willing to take it on for next year?
Yeah,
Then I think we should recalculate the salary based on what we're paying you for the code enforcement officer. And include the 3,200, because that's gonna more than pay for that, if you're willing to do that.
I should clarify though. It's been quiet. And I am willing to do it if it stays like this. I don't know what it's gonna
However,
be like,
right.
what's it gonna be like in the summer, in the spring? Am I gonna be able to keep going and doing it? I would like to be able to do it, yes.
I think you can.
Yeah, that
Yes,
was,
John.
yeah. That was my only, I thought about the same thing, but then I thought, okay, come June, July, August. So Terry says, I can't do this anymore.
What happened?
And now we don't have any money in the budget to hire somebody.
So we'll just leave the higher number in there, and then if we don't need it, we don't need it.
Yeah, that's one approach, or at least lower it to 3,200, because Terry's gonna do it for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, this is next July 1st, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'll lower it at the 3,200 to pay for the program. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Or buy the software this year, because we got tons of money that's not spent in this year.
I
Oh,
think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's the better idea.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go down and really look
Yeah,
at it.
yeah, no, I'm not saying buy it tomorrow, but,
No, New
Yeah.
toy.
and that may help you with time too, Terry.
It
Yeah.
might, and
Yeah.
if Hannah wasn't pregnant, I wouldn't feel so nervous because I have been giving her more things to do. But she's gonna go out on maternity leave and she says she's coming back, but I know what it's like to have two kids and put two kids in the daycare and the costs and will she really come back?
Yeah.
I mean, she may try and not be able to.
Right.
Yeah, but she's gonna be here through this busy season, right?
Yep, yep, I know, but we're thinking about the next year.
I know, but I mean, by the time it's next fall, maybe things will change, it'll slow down, and maybe we'll have to do something for the following
Yeah, and then the following year we'll have to have a town manager and I'll just be the code enforcement officer.
year. Okay, so I propose that we reduce the salary for the, oh, well, the other big piece here is Terry was still willing to do the plumbing.
I assume so, I didn't ask him, but I will, I can.
Well, that's kind of critical, because you gotta be certified to do the plumbing on day one, so,
Well, we have to.
well, we got a budget for it anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we reduce the code enforcement officer's wages by 3,200. No, we're not doing that, are we?
No,
Yes, no, I'll make a motion, we strike the $3,200,
There you go.
and you're gonna look into buying it this year,
Yeah,
but that's not part of the motion.
okay.
Good.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi,
John?
John. Hi, John.
Hi, Jeff. Okay, assessor.
I think a couple more hands, I could always change these numbers later, I just want to strike that one so I don't add it.
That's real early on, isn't it? Like page 4 or something?
Yeah, page, the one I've got says page 1.
It does say that.
Yes, it does, because I had help at the beginning printing this out and they didn't print it the way I said, so they didn't get numbered at the
Mine
beginning
says
properly.
3.
So the first few pages are 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and then it goes into the real number.
Okay, but it's line number 138.
Oh. Okay, I got it.
I make a motion, we approve it as presented.
What dropped so significantly?
Well, I took Phil out.
This is, we should have done the admin first and had this conversation. So years and years ago, I used to help
Got it.
the assessor do deeds, enter deeds, so 25% of my pay came out of there. Bill doesn't do that anymore. They do it all. So I took his wages out of that line because they really don't belong there. It doesn't work for the assessor, doesn't do assessing stuff anymore. And I put it all under admin. So when you see admin, you're gonna say, oh, no, what happened?
Okay,
So
good.
it's really just a wash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
that makes sense?
yes,
Yep.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And I did read that somewhere.
And plus Kevin went down $1,500, right?
Right.
So
Okay, so back to what you said, what you were getting ready to say?
I make a motion that it be approved as presented.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
before somebody wants to add something to it.
Right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, John.
Hi, Jeff. Okay, last one for the night is recreation. And that's on page 34 in my book. Line number 1152.
And I really, I was, I don't know I don't know where the recreation group stands, I don't know what we need to put, we don't need a hoop, I didn't know if we're
Well,
gonna.
I got some
part of the
insights.
thing.
I have some insights,
All right,
and I probably should have helped you.
that's right, you're busy.
Yeah. I think we can keep one tennis court open next year. And it also, when they play pickleball, it separates the two courts. And I think we need a new tennis net. Put it down, taken it up the last few years, and it's in really bad shape. And I have no idea what one costs.
Looks like last time we budgeted 420 for,
Well, that's what I was wondering. Could we get it out of this year?
oh, yeah, we probably should. I mean, we've got it budgeted for this year.
Yeah, but I don't know where the 420 came from, but my suspicion is there more than that, but maybe not. But but they can't be that much, so.
We should look into buying.
And I don't know what the dues and fees and travel was about.
Yeah, and I was gonna
Little
ask
League.
that.
Little
Oh,
League.
Little League, okay.
Okay,
So we will have actuals there then,
yeah.
Yes. Yep.
okay. And the 1,000's good then, because the actuals before were 3,400. Oh, that was 2 seasons.
Right.
How is
But that-
our Little League? I mean, how is that figured? Is that just
Last
each
year, I
town
think it
pays?
was- Yeah, last year we had 22 participants and 30 dollars.
So that's how they do it by how many kids? Okay.
Yeah.
So is $1,000 low if it was 3,455 for 2 years?
Well, we have, why am I getting my phone out? I have a category here.
22 times 30, right?
It's $30 a student or,
It's-
Yeah, but we spent, and I assume it's two payments in the 18-month budget, but it was 3,455.
I'm thinking back. I think we owed them. It never got paid before that.
I remember something about that. That's another Owen thing.
Yeah, and we knew about it, so we budgeted it. I can't remember what else it could be, but I can look and see what the 3455 was.
But you're confident in the 22 at 30.
Yep,
Okay, I'm good then.
that's more than enough. That was what, 660?
660.
60,
Yeah,
yeah,
so that, if we had a population growth and there's
which I don't
a
think
few
we
more
have.
this year that want to play, we're good.
We'd have to have a boom.
Okay,
So I will look into buying a tennis net this year.
We also should, I don't know, what are we gonna do about the skateboard park? We're not doing anything and it's getting worse and worse and worse.
I mean, we have money to fix it, but who's gonna fix it?
I don't know. I don't even know who, and now you're talking about budgeting 5 more grand, right?
Well,
I know,
I'm
I
lost
know,
in it.
I know, you threw a placeholder in there. I
Yeah.
get it.
and
Um,
I think this is the one that they added at town meeting, added money to it, right?
Because this,
yeah, I don't see that though. Where
This-
was that?
it's in the reserves. No,
Oh, the reserves. Yeah, okay.
but this 840's for this year
Yes,
and up until July. So if you use all that and then there's still some repairs, I mean, this 5,000 would be for the whole next fall and then the fall and spring, if there's something that needs to be done down there or anywhere. I mean, just as repair and maintenance.
We gotta find somebody who's kind of like a Finnish cop who could go down there and make it safe, because it's not safe. We got rid of the worst piece of equipment, but now the one on the ground, I think is pretty bad too. It's rotting away. Artie or somebody took off 2 rotten pieces of the skin, but now the plywood under that skin's been exposed to the elements. We either gotta shut it down or we gotta find somebody who can repair it. And Pam's not gonna be happy if we shut it down.
Right.
And I just, I don't know.
Well,
Well, for just to move us along for tonight, I'll make a motion that we approve the budget as presented.
I can second that.
okay, moved and seconded primarily in my mind for discussion, because I mean, we've got a recreation reserve line. And it does look like we are planning to put 5,000 into it.
But in my mind, that's going towards tennis courts.
Okay, okay.
And actually, when we got there, I was gonna propose increasing. I mean, I think, I guess what I'm thinking, I don't know that now that you made the motion, I'm not sure we need the 5 grand. I think we could put $1,000 in there. And then carry forward the 8,000 if we can't get something done or completed by July 1st. Because I'm not sure we're gonna get someone who's done and give us a bill by July 1st, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
And if we carried that forward, I mean, I think the 8 grand would do it. Particularly if we got rid of another piece of equipment, which we might wanna.
Yeah,
Or even a couple of grand. Knock the 5 to 2 and carry forward the 8.
I like that idea. Making that line instead of 5,000, 2,000.
1,000 or 2,000?
I think 1,000. Because I don't think it's gonna cost $10,000.
No, I don't either. But I don't have a clue.
Right, but
I'm fine with 1,000. I just said even 2,000 if people were worried about not having.
no, I think 1,000. It just would not, I don't know, if we haven't done anything by town meeting, it would not surprise me if somebody, and I won't mention any names, Rich Norman, would bump this anyway. Add something extra.
If we haven't spent
I know.
what's there, it doesn't make any sense.
I know.
If the problem is you can't find anybody to do the work,
Yeah,
it's not.
Well,
gonna
I don't think that's the problem. I think nobody's looked to find somebody to do the work.
yeah, I think you're right.
And I'll be honest with you, I feel like I can't take on another project.
Right. Okay, so let's make it 2,450.
And we'll sort of, we can't do it tonight, but we're tentatively agreeing to carry the 8480 forward, or if there's a balance. Well, unless we get someone and they're done.
Right.
Okay. Terry, you gonna remember all those?
Go on, I'll do my best.
Okay, so what is it then? It's 2,450?
That's what I got.
I'll make a motion. We approve recreation at 2,450.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further final discussion? All those in favor? John,
John, aye.
Jeff, I.
Actually, we already had a motion on the floor, didn't we?
Yeah,
did.
but we just ignored it. Do you want to revisit the reserves? Because I'm not sure if we any of our items.
Yeah, we have a recreation reserve, right?
Yes,
5,000.
we've got, we recommend, right now it's 5,000.
Yeah, well, I think if we're gonna do something with the tennis courts, we need to start saving something for that. So I was gonna recommend that we increase that to, I can't find my reserve page, but I don't know how much we have in there now, but, oh, there it is.
5.
And that's what Rich. Oh, that's not it. Sorry.
I don't think Rich added to that. I think he just added to the budget.
Right.
He made it 10,000 for recreation.
Oh. Well, I remember saying to him, don't think that this is gonna deal with the tennis courts on the floor of town meeting.
Right.
So we just, all we have in the recreation reserve is 5.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, we can revisit this when we have to finalize it, but I would make a motion that we add 10,000 to it.
Instead of 5,000, instead of adding 5, add 10.
Yeah, that's my motion. I mean, if it, I'm not hot over on it, but I think if we truly are gonna try to rebuild one of those tennis courts, we need to start saving some money for it.
What's the cost? What do you think the cost is to redo one?
I don't have it off my head. I sent you guys that memo back a while ago, hopefully we could get 50% of it funded by the grant, and it was north of 100,000, if I recall. But we have some. But that grant requires a 50% match, so I just think if we can, it increases our chances of getting the grant if we can say to them, well, we already got X on hand.
Right.
And then we carried forward some money too from someplace, that's in the audit. So anyways, yeah, that's it's kind of fluid at this point.
You want a second?
I will second that.
And if we, sorry,
I was just asking for more discussion.
yeah, I was just gonna say, if we get hard up against it, LD1 and the budget's looking too crazy, I mean, that's certainly something we could, shave out $5 grand.
Okay. All in favor?
Hi, John.
Hi, Jeff. Anything else? Before we adjourn. So tomorrow night, we've got town roads, solid waste, building and grounds, and administration. We've got a few other things, but they're all those pretty,
Biggies.
yeah, those are the biggies. And capital. You got some stuff in capital this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid waste, not usually a biggie though. I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a big number.
yeah, and tomorrow night at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be able to make it. We keep on this schedule.
Yeah,
We're doing the budget.
Tomorrow night, I'm gonna have to, we have 6 people coming over for dinner and I'm the cook.
Uh-oh.
So I'm probably gonna have to bolt by 5:30.
We should be able to make that because we don't have fire and ambulance.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just afraid I don't want to spend a ton of time on the Conservation Commission
Right.
budget.
But anyway, I took a real good close look at what I think it's gonna be for the solid waste that we'll approve tomorrow night at 7. And I think the number that Terry has currently in our budget should be good.
Okay,
So.
I think the one that probably will take the most time would be either the roads or the buildings and grounds, but
Yeah. I agree.
no.
You ready to
You want a
go?
motion- Would you like a motion to adjourn?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, John.
John, I, Jeff, I. Yeah,
See you later.
I used to, I never used to take a motion for adjournment. But everybody now doesn't like the way I did. I always said, without objection, we are adjourned.
Yeah, yeah.
And if somebody objected to that, then they could stay.
Actually, somebody once told me that under Robert's rules of